Hey everyone, and welcome to the update for a couple of days ago. It was Wednesday, June the 16th. I'm actually filming this now on Friday, June the 18th. I mean, I am a couple of days behind, and I do apologize for that. Um, and there's really no good reason as to why I'm behind, which I do want to emphasize because the last couple of minutes of my previous update were my saying, I'm not in a very good headspace right now. And then to immediately follow that up with disappearing for like 50 hours when you post daily, yeah, not a good look. And honestly, the reason why I got an additional day behind was really nothing, even nothing particularly exciting. And that being said, it's not a good look, and so but I do want everybody to know everything's good. Everything's good. There's nothing scary or tragic or anything going on. Just a delay in getting along with these updates that I promised to be a daily thing. So anyway, sorry about that. So, so moving on to talking about the 16th. First, it was a day off, second of two. That being said, Mom was in town, and so we spent a lot of time working on organizing and things around here. And obviously that's kind of been a recurring theme, and actually looking behind me here, this desk, for example, was one of the things that we were working on both the 15th and the 16th, Tuesday and Wednesday, while Mom was here. And we were making more progress towards, again, reorganizing this place. Of course, it's my place and my reorganizational project, but Mom is doing what moms do, and even without my asking, is jumping in and helping out. And I can't feel more blessed. So, Mom, thank you for that. That being said, this desk looks awful right now because, well, not awful, but cluttered, and is still in the process of being reorganized. This is not its final form, but I've cleaned out all those drawers and everything too. But so we were doing some reorganization. All right, is the point that I'm getting to here, and we also went and had a nice lunch over at a place called K&M Burger over in Camas. If you live over in Camas, I'm sure you've heard of it, probably been there. There's only one. For that matter, if you live on this side of the county, you've probably either been to K&M Burger or you know where it is. But anyway, it's an old school drive-in place, and that Mom likes. Mom and Dad both have a lot of sentimental stuff about Camas, and so anyway, so she wanted to go there, so we did. And so then we got to the part that I was actually referring to at the end of the previous video. When I said at the end of the previous video that I was not in a good headspace because I was trying to clear something up, and I was not able to. Now, this is the second version of my going through this little tale. On the first one, again, it ended up being one of those things where I just got really, really esoteric and into the weeds and whatnot, way beyond what would be interesting to anybody, so, including myself. And so, that said, it boils down to there was an issue with the lease to this place. All right, and it was something that had a feeling could rear itself up, and if it did rear itself up, and it's again esoteric and just is esoteric maybe that the right word for this? Anyway, I don't know, but it's out in the weeds and beyond the scope of really getting into too much detail about it. But there was a issue with the lease, and I had it in the back of my mind that if something went bad, which was not a 0% chance, I was mentally guesstimating it to be like a 20% chance that come October 31st, Halloween, that I would have to be moving. Alright? And one, I actually kind of like this place, if you haven't noticed. And second, who wants to move? I'm sure some people do. Moving would kind of suck. And anybody who's ever moved knows it kind of sucks. I did not particularly want to move. I did not want to go through that whole process. Applying for places. Probably getting denied. And repeatedly. And then picking a place to live based on what you can get into rather than what you want. And basically any movement would almost certainly be a downgrade. And yeah. Which of course would not be ideal. And again, having to spend most of the summer then trying to figure out what I was going to do. Alright? And so we had gone down to the place to hopefully sort that out. Alright? And again, kind of complicated, kind of messy, and something that goes back all the way to, like, almost my day one here. Alright? Something from then that popped up. And, again, like, wow, okay. And so I'm like, well, should go okay, but if it doesn't, it's not a not zero chance of losing everything. So, went to sort it out and we couldn't get it sorted, and couldn't get the resolution that I wanted then. Additionally, it made the odds feel like they were going to actually be much lower than what I expected them to be of having a positive resolution to this situation. Alright. And in the end, got that information back actually this afternoon on the 18th, and yeah, we're good. We're good. That issue from, again, over 20 years ago did not come back to bite me, and really bite us, because, believe it or not, my parents were involved too in this thing, and yeah, so nothing illicit. We weren't like breaking rules or anything, but or laws or anything like that to the bit, but yeah. Anyway, the uncertainty of something like that is hard. Really hard. And for the past, like, 48 hours, I've just had my mind going in 58 directions of how I was going to deal with all of that stuff. And literally all of this stuff. And I've shown you those other rooms and other updates. There's a lot of stuff. And that garage, there's a lot of stuff. Imagine all of that in a storage unit and a move and all that, like, this summer. I was spending a lot of time imagining that the last couple of days. I am not imagining that now. Thank God. That's was on my mind the last couple of days. And when you watch the update for the 17th, when I say I was dead tired because I got 45 minutes of sleep, it's because I was stressing out over this. But we'd be good. We'd be good. Alright. And another reason I was so concerned about that, see this? This is a picture of me in the place where I grew up, place that we moved into when I was in 2nd grade. This is approximately 4th or 5th grade. We had gotten a trampoline that I was liking to play with, and I don't know why this is relevant to this conversation, but I'm happy to